This is the month where money is going to be a big topic for you, Leo. Maybe a little stressful, but there are also mitigating, helpful factors, which I will explain all about. I am Nadia, the astrologer for people who do not believe in astrology, but who love hearing their monthly forecasts. And this one is yours for September 2025. To start off, let's talk about Saturn. It has spent the past 3 months in Aries, setting up the stage for something serious for you in the area of education, media, culture, or international affairs. But right on the 1st of September, in the course of its yearly retrograde, it's moving back into Pisces. It will spend another 5-ish months here, demanding that you regain serious attitude towards situations in which you are not in control. Some of these situations are beautiful, passionate sex, true intimacy. Everyone wants that, but they are a kind of thing where your pleasure or happiness very much depends on what the other person is doing. Or situations in which you half own something valuable, or maybe can use somebody else's resources under some conditions. Or your own psychological depths. This is where you need to be realistic about dealing with something you cannot possibly even hope to have control over. If you recognize that, Saturn is okay and will help you deal with it realistically and constructively like a grown-up. And it may be satisfying. Next up, Mercury. It starts the month in your sign, but then moves into Virgo right on the 2nd of September. In your horoscope, Virgo rules personal finance. It's the money you earn, the money you spend, and the resources you also own. Mercury will not need much time here. It will move into the next sign on the 18th of September, which I will cover later in the video. But while it is speeding through Virgo, try and do as much as possible to maximize your earnings, plan your expenses, budget, and manage what you own intelligently. Make a list of small things you think you could and should do, and count the money on your accounts, plan expenses, buy strategically, get rid of whatever you're not using and can sell. Be smart about money and be quick. Before we come any further, by now you probably know it pays to watch the forecast for both your sun sign and your rising sign. As good as that is, it still will not show you how the transits we're talking about are affecting other important points in your chart, like your Venus or your midheaven. It also doesn't tell you how your progress chart is unfolding, which is basically your individual developmental plan. That's the kind of deeper personal layer I cover in private readings, and you can book one with me through the link up here and below in the description. Now back to your month ahead. Remember that Saturn has just moved back into Pisces, into your area of intimacy, other people's money, and your own psychological depths. Well, there's also going to be a full moon there on the 7th of September, which is also a lunar eclipse. And this eclipse is actually surprisingly good-natured in any of the areas of life I have listed. So deep psychology, deep intimacy, or financial interdependence, your behavior or your reactions may change. And yes, it may have something to do with Saturn lending you his mature way of looking at things, but it may also be the effect of the eclipse that's supposed to push you towards new attitudes in those domains. You don't need to change your opinion that much or your philosophy. Just be sensitive to the spontaneous reactions that are new to you, to how it's suddenly possible to act in a new way that was previously unavailable to you. Pay attention to a changed emotional landscape. It all may be not only beneficial, but also fateful. Back to Mercury. On the 18th, it's passing into Libra, from where it will be easy for it to help you with intellectual labor, learning, and communication. and also short trips. At first, it may even present you with a beautiful and slightly nebulous idea that you will feel strongly about. And yes, if that happens, it's totally worth it to work on this idea for a little. It's also good to use the days after this transition to check up on friends, read, or make the trips that you have been putting off. Now, let's look at what Venus is doing. It's starting the month in your sign, just like Mercury did, only it has not one day there, but 19. So the first 19 days of September are great for beautifying yourself, taking pictures of yourself, flirting, but also using your charms to help you reach some less frivolous goals. So formal politeness, diplomatic gestures are important things, but with Venus here, you'll probably get better results if you don't pretend, but try to truly find some warm feelings in yourself for the person you are talking to. On the 19th, Venus moves into Virgo, where it will be less theatrical, but also better placed to help you with shopping, with selling, as in you're selling goods or services or your labor, and managing the valuables that you own. If you can postpone shopping until the 20th, do that, because Venus in Virgo has a discerning eye, and whatever you buy under her influence is just more likely to truly suit you. There will be a new moon in Virgo on the 21st of September, not a usual one. We already had the new moon in Virgo in August. We sometimes get those pairs of new moons in one sign, or full moons. And the difference between the previous new moon of August and this one is that this one is actually also a solar eclipse. So it's way less about setting an intention and way more about discovering what the fate has in store, or more likely not in store for you. In your case, it concerns your personal finance, so earnings, spending, and property. The solar eclipse may show you what money-related or property-related attitudes that you have won't fly anymore. There's no need to do anything special about it now. I mean, if the circumstances cut you off from some source of money and you have to budget, do what you gotta do. But if the circumstances don't demand immediate reaction, just let things unfold and use your best judgment. Finally, Mars will also change signs this month. It will leave Libra for Scorpio on the 22nd of September. That may be important for you, especially if you live with your romantic partner. So in your horoscope, Scorpio rules your home turf and your family, the ones you live with, and also your older relatives, your roots. When Mars goes, action follows. So after the 22nd, you may get more active on the home front, making decisions, achieving results, but also maybe arguing or at least raising some questions that beg to be raised already, especially with your partner. And keep in mind, the partnerships in your life, ever since Pluto moved into Aquarius in 2024, need to be based on truth, on not lying to yourself and ideally not having to lie to a partner, on not living a lie. So even if the questions raised carry the potential for conflict, bringing it into the open may actually be good for the relationship. So see, that was a lot of topics, but if I had to choose one, I'd say it would be to at least know how you're doing financially and to also be more open to processes that are unfolding in your most important relationships. If this resonated, consider subscribing to be notified when the next forecast comes out, and have a beautiful September, Leo.